Guys, what's going on? It's a Block Bull right about now, bringing you the latest episode to the channel. Now, today is a massive day for XRP community as the CME group have launched the XRP futures today. So we're going to talk about the implications, whether or not this is positive or negative news for XRP. Now, obviously, XRP is one of the biggest cryptos in the landscape, so it will have more influence moving forward because predominantly Bitcoin and Ethereum make up a big slice of the pie when it comes to crypto. Okay, so XRP is now getting a slice of this pie. So in today's video, we're going to cover XRP and XYN, and potentially we could look at some other smaller cap coins as well, depending on how much time we've got left in the video. So this is the big news today. So let's just have a look on this particular article here. So we've got plenty of stuff going on here. So CME Group to launch XRP futures today. And as you can see, Jack the Ripper has already tweeted out here that it's already gone live. So XRP futures are now live. Okay, so what does this mean for the crypto market? So if we just go back onto this particular article here, we've got loads of different articles. I've been having a read about it. So CME Group is rolling out cash-settled XRP futures ETF today, raising questions about institutional demand and a spot ETF approval potential. So that is the bigger, the spot ETF. This isn't an ETF as such. This is just futures. Okay, guys. So what does it mean with futures? So again, guys, I'm just highlighting this for you guys. So I've asked ChatGPT the question because obviously that's going to summarize and contextualize the definition of futures better than I ever can. So let's go through this together, guys. So a futures contract is a financial agreement to buy or sell an asset at a predetermined price at a specific time in the future. Okay, so in crypto, you don't need to own the actual coin, for example, like XRP, Bitcoin, or Ethereum. Traders can speculate on whether the price will go up or down. Futures can be used for hedging or leverage trading. So this means this is good news basically for institutional investors because they don't have to actually buy up any assets. So you know how all the retail are basically squirreling away, like everybody in the crypto community now is just buy despite all the prices coming down. Yes, people like to trade the assets and try make a little bit of profit here and there with the fluctuations in the price action, but ultimately the institutions know where it's going, the retail know where it's going, and it's literally a race to the bottom now who can accumulate the most digital assets because the new global financial system is only around the corner, guys. We've got July the 14th, FedWire is going live. That got postponed from March now, so it is literally a race now who can actually accumulate the most digital assets because this is going to be the future now, especially with the ISO 222 tokens. XYN is also in the frame now. I do believe the team is trying to get that to be ISO approved as well. So XRP already is, and it's one of the founding members of the organization as well. Not necessarily ISO, but the ones in terms of the legislation for how they're going to, sort of implement this new financial system. So let's have a look. XRP futures contracts where traders bet on the future price of XRP. So it's almost becoming like spread betting, for example, like Forex. If you're trading the sort of euro, dollar, or the sort of GJ per, or the cable, which is like the British sterling against the USD. So let's have a look. Why are XRP futures important? So legitimacy and maturity. Futures typically launch on regulated exchanges like CME, signaling institutional interest. So that's where all the big money is, guys. Institutions, they've got very, very deep pockets. Okay, retail basically accounts. It doesn't. We're literally a pea on the drum. Yeah, we're a drop in the ocean in comparison to what institutionals, sort of hedge funds, big corporations can invest into this space. And this is basically what we're doing as retail traders now, is basically riding upon their coattails. So wherever they send the market, we want to be capitalizing and riding our bags up and collecting the cheddar ultimately. So let's have a look. Price discovery helps determine a fair market price via speculation. Increased liquidity, more trading volume equals more efficient markets. Shorting becomes easier. So this is the major concern, guys. I do believe XRP and the rest of the digital assets are majorly undervalued now, but all institutions are doing now with this approval of XRP's futures is the fact that they can now short it much easier because they no longer have to own the underlying asset now. So there's going to be a lot of market manipulation. So you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're going to be following the charts frequently. Yeah, I'm posting 4 or 5 videos a week to keep people up to date so we don't get left holding the bag, because this is what they're planning on doing, guys. They're planning on sending the price up to astronomical numbers, and what they'll do is they'll take back all the money. So they'll tank the market and you'll be left holding the bag, probably at prices that we're seeing today. So once it runs up, we need to be taking money. It's as simple as that, guys. This is all what technical analysis is once we get over to the charts. And this is why we're following the news, so we know what smart money has planned for us going forward. Now, what happened when Bitcoin and Ethereum futures launched? This is what we're going to look at now. Is there any sort of similarities? So we've got specific dates here, okay? Not necessarily like pinpointed here because this is pretty broad for me. So Bitcoin futures launched December, so there isn't a specific date. I'm sure we can find a specific date, but we launched in December of 2017. So that was CME and CBOE, okay? Market reaction, Bitcoin hit an all-time high, 20K shortly after, then a crash within weeks. Bitcoin dropped and began a year-long bear market. So we've got to be very careful, guys. Ethereum futures, what happened there? Launched February of 2021. Again, that was CME. ETH rallied before launch. So this is the thing. They're already running it up prior to the sort of futures launching. I don't feel like we've had that with XRP, to be honest with you, because we've been in 160-day consolidation over on XRP, and we'll come and visit the chart shortly. I feel like all this video is going to be mainly about XRP, to be fair. But anyway, let's have a look. Post-launch, Ethereum kept rising for months, but eventually followed broader market corrections. Overall effect, more institutional participation, but still volatility. So what might happen with XRP futures? If XRP futures were to launch or expand in volume, short-term price spikes, possible due to hype and speculation, then potential volatility as shorting becomes easier. So it's just making it easier to add selling pressure. And a lot of over on X, they're buzzing about it. They're buzzing about, why would you be happy that there's potential selling pressure coming to XRP? For me, that is negative news in my view. Long term anyway. So it could be a boost to institutional access and liquidity. Exactly, it's only a positive for institutions because they can get in and out of positions much easier, manipulate the markets in whichever direction they feel favourable for, depending on whether retail are longing or whether retail are shorting. Do you know what I'm saying? So what I've done is, guys, I've marked out here, these are where the futures coming in. So this is February of 21. So this is the Ethereum chart, okay? So this is where basically the futures launched and we ran up, sort of set these sort of highs at the time before we capitulated. So for me, that's very close to the top because you can see here we penetrated the sort of 2017-18 high up here. And that basically got us the breakout, let's just mark it and highlight it on the chart for you guys. So we got this 17-18 high here of this cycle. Then the following cycle, the futures launched around here. That's basically what took us in excess of the previous high, okay? And this is where we got up to these sort of peaks up here before rolling over. Okay, so there was a little bit to gain after the Ethereum futures is what I'm trying to say. Let's take a look at Bitcoin chart as well. What I'll do, just filter it through symbols. There we go, Bitcoin, boom. Let's have a look. So this, again, is the future. So around the end of December, it's saying, look at this. December was pretty much the top for Bitcoin when the futures arrived. The CME futures were launched, and that marked the high of that particular cycle for Bitcoin, which is a little bit worrying, really, for XRP, because could this be marking out the all-time the highs for XRP in terms of where we're trading. Now, let's answer that question. Is what's going to happen now with XRP? It's down approximately 4.4% on the day. So let's have a look. This is on the weekly chart. Again, we got the red wedge, as you can see, 6-7 year wedge, multi-year wedge. We've got the breakout. And for me, we're still creating a sort of bull flag here. Now, last week, come back on the daily. Last week was looking really good. We're getting all this really, bullish sort of price action here because we're getting closes above this trend line. It looks as if we're breaking out of the bull flag, but right now this could potentially be a sort of fake out to the upside, potentially. So we need to manage our risk, guys. So whether you're trading, whether you're investing, you still need to set the expectations for you guys to be able to cope psychologically. Okay, in the eventuality XRP does roll over. Okay, so we're back inside the bull flag now. It seems as though we've had a fake out. Again, it's still early days with the futures launch, so we don't know exactly how this is going to play out. This could just be a fake out manipulation before we get the legitimate breakout to the upside. So this is where we are now with XRP. Just back under here. So for me, in terms of sort of risk to reward, what I'd be looking at highlighting is coming back down potentially to this bottom red trend line here. So this would mark out the sort of flag. Okay, let's just highlight that a little bit more accurately there. So potentially XRP, I will be putting, it's only 26% drawdown. Yeah, so for me, I'd probably look at hodling because right now it's still within a chance of breaking to the upside at top of this bull flag now. So I do believe the fact that Ethereum and also Bitcoin was at the sort of highs in the previous cycles when the futures launched over there. I do believe they do this with XRP because when I was doing like the XRP plans and the time analysis, etc., what was happening is you could see exactly when XRP got going after the sort of Bitcoin cycle. Okay, so we was looking at between 33 to 36 weeks after the Bitcoin halving before XRP ran up. Then we was looking at around, I think it was about 44 weeks. I can't remember exactly now. I think it's 44 weeks after the Bitcoin halving. Usually XRP sort of tops out before it makes a pullback. And then later on in the cycle, it has the blow off top. Okay, but ultimately, XRP, I would say, we're only looking at a 26% drawdown, and that would take us around that sort of $1.70 mark. Okay. On the flip side, XRP is going to do some massive numbers, so I do believe we will be going into double digits. So for argument's sake, let's just be really, really, really conservative, get us up to double digits at sort of $10. So you can see exactly how the risk to reward is still in the favor of the XRP army. So if you're still holding XRP, continue to hodl, in my view. Again, never financial advice. You guys are all grown adults. You can make your own decisions, okay? I'm just giving you my perspective on how I'm seeing the charts unfold. For me, there's probably some better opportunities. We're in the Discord, guys, so if you guys want some gems or some like better return on investment of the sort of medium to long term, even the short term, guys, we're over in the Discord. We've still got the free trial going, okay? Get over there. The link is down below in the description. what.com/the block bulls. That'll get you in, and then obviously you gain insight to all the targets, etc. as well. So make sure to take advantage of that. But ultimately, XRP is looking at teetering around. So there's going to have to make, in terms of price action anyway, it's going to have to make a serious decision now. Is it going to roll over and sort of retest this bottom of this bull flag, or we are actually going to make a legitimate move to the upside now and start targeting double digits? We'll soon find out, guys. Anyhow, I've been the Block Bull. Until next time, the Block Bull is over and out.